Before introducing the 2014 points of emphasis, let's first review the points of emphasis for the 2013 lacrosse season. The NFHS Rules Committee called attention to 4 points of emphasis for officials, coaches, and players to focus on: hits to the head and neck, properly worn and fitted equipment, sideline sportsmanship, and field dimensions. The committee reminds officials that while every season there are new points of emphasis, the previous season's points of emphasis remain important. 2014 points of emphasis. The points of emphasis identified for the 2014 boys lacrosse season are age-specific rules, properly worn and fitted equipment, slashing, and NOCSAE standard lacrosse balls. Age-specific rules. The NFHS Rules Committee wants to point out that the rules in the NFHS rulebook are designed for high school age players. For games played by younger age groups, age-specific rules should be utilized. U.S. Lacrosse has established such age-specific rules for youth play, which are contained in the back of the NFHS rulebook and can also be found on www.uslacrosse.org/rules. Properly worn equipment. The rules of play require players to wear a number of items of protective equipment, including a helmet with a face mask, mouth guard, protective gloves, shoulder pads, arm pads, and shoes. Furthermore, the rules state that these items must be professionally manufactured and not altered in any way. Coaches, officials, and players are reminded that these items must be properly fitted and properly worn at all times to maximize protection. Items of protective equipment that are improperly fitted increase the risk of injury for players. Likewise, items that have been altered from the original manufacturer's specifications reduce the protective characteristics of the product. Helmet. The helmet must be designed for lacrosse and meet the NOCSAE test requirements. The helmet must have a face mask and a chin strap that is firmly attached at all times. Mouthpiece. All players must wear a professionally manufactured intraoral mouthpiece that protects the teeth and supporting structure while also protects and separates the biting surfaces. All mouthpieces should be properly fitted to the individual's teeth. The mouthpiece shall be of any color other than clear or white and must be worn correctly during play. Gloves. Gloves are to be padded with unaltered palms that are made specifically for lacrosse. Shoulder pads. Shoulder pads are made specifically for lacrosse and in no way should be altered from the manufacturer's original construction. Shoulder pads are optional for a goalkeeper. Arm pads. Arm pads should be placed over the elbow and be made specifically for lacrosse. Arm pads are optional for a goalkeeper. Optional equipment. Optional but recommended equipment are rib pads and a protective cup. Goalie equipment. In addition to the helmet, gloves, and mouthpiece, the goalie is required to wear at all times a throat protector and a chest protector. Protective cup. The NFHS highly recommends and encourages all players to wear a protective cup while participating in boys lacrosse. Ensuring that players are not playing with illegal equipment and are properly wearing all required equipment is a major responsibility for all lacrosse coaches. Coaches are reminded of their obligation to carefully inspect their players' equipment and instruct them on how to properly wear this equipment. Slashing. The NFHS is placing an emphasis on slashing in 2014 as there's no place in the game for this type of foul. All participants are reminded that all slashes are illegal and coaches must properly instruct their players to avoid making such slashes. Officials should be especially alert to call these penalties whenever they occur. If a player commits multiple slashes, multiple fouls should be called. The penalty for a slash can be 1 to 3 minutes depending on the official's judgment of the severity and perceived intent of the personal foul. In addition, if a player initiates an excessive, violent, or uncontrolled slash to the head or neck area, then the penalty is to be a 2 or 3 minute non-releasable penalty. Watch these next examples of slashes that should be penalized. In this first clip, the offensive player has possession of the ball and drives toward the goal. Watch number 40 as he slides over to double team the attacking player. In this clip, the offensive player is carrying the ball behind the goal as a second defender slides in and delivers a slash to his back. Watch it from this angle and watch as the defenseman delivers this check with no intention of dislodging the ball. This next clip, the blue team is attempting to clear the ball. As the clearing player is forced towards the bench area, watch how the riding defender swings at the player's arm. In this next play, watch as the defending player delivers an uncontrolled and unnecessary check. These clips are just a few examples of the different types of unnecessary slashes occurring in the game today. NOCSAE standard game balls. All three governing bodies for lacrosse in the United States, U.S. Lacrosse, the NCAA, and the NFHS, have agreed to mandate that only balls marked as meets NOCSAE standard will be allowed for use in games. Beginning in 2014, the only balls deemed legal for play will be those that state meets NOCSAE standard and type size that will be simple for consumers and game officials to read. It is the responsibility of the home team to provide legal balls for play. If the home team cannot provide legal balls for play, they shall ask the visiting team to provide them. In this scenario, a technical foul shall be assessed on the home team, and officials award the opening faceoff to the visiting team. If neither team is able to provide legal balls for play, the game cannot be played. If a ball is found to be illegal after play has begun, the officials shall remove the illegal ball from play and restart with a legal ball. If an illegal ball is found after a goal is scored, no penalty is assessed and the goal will stand. These standards establish performance requirements in the size, weight, compressibility, and other characteristics of the ball. These standards were established to minimize risk for the players. Coaches, athletic directors, and program administrators are reminded it is their obligation to supply and only utilize legal balls for play. For more information and resources about this ball standard, please go to www.uslacrosse.org/2014 ball standard.